welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Sama. Thanks for joining us. El Camino College is partnering up with an organization to bring more jobs to their students. A $500,000 grant was awarded to Propel LA, an organization that has a county-wide strategic plan for economic development. Through the funds, Propel will develop a 2-year program and partner with nonprofits to seek underemployed and dislocated workers and recruit them for the advanced manufacturing training academies offered at El Camino. President of El Camino College, Dina Maloney, says that with the large number of aerospace and transportation jobs in the South Bay, they need to make sure access to these employment opportunities is within reach of residents. Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation launched Propel LA. A big-name car company headquartered in Torrance is also giving back to El Camino College. The college received a $50,000 pledge from American Honda Motor Company as a gift to create the South Bay Promise Endowment Fund to support the South Bay Promise program. It provides affordable access to a college education. Honda made this announcement at the recent signing ceremony for the program. This isn't the first time Honda has helped students and over the years has supported El Camino College. South Bay Promise will expand this fall to include 500 high school graduates from all 7 school districts in the El Camino Community College District. Now, if you stop by a Starbucks this afternoon, you may have been disappointed to find them closed. 8,000 locations nationwide were closed their doors this afternoon at 2:30 p.m. for employees to participate in racial sensitivity education. All Starbucks company-owned retail stores and corporate offices were closed. The training was announced a month ago after several incidents were brought to light at Starbucks regarding unfair customer treatment. Starbucks executive chairman said that more than 175,000 Starbucks employees will share life experiences, hear from experts, and reflect on the realities of bias in our society and much more. Here in Torrance, 15 locations participated in the training and were closed during this time. Now, you may face traffic delays if you're on the road tomorrow night as part of the Pacific Coast Highway and Hawthorne Widening Project. Southern California Edison are continuing to work to relocate utility poles and lines in conflict with the proposed street widening. From 9 p.m. to 5 a.m., SCE will work to construct a large concrete foundation at the northeast corner of PCH and Nisi Avenue. This is the last of 3 pole foundations that will be constructed as needed for new steel utility poles. 9 old wooden poles will be removed to make way for the widening of these streets. The city is looking for volunteer coaches to assist with a summer sport. Coaches for the City of Torrance Youth Flag Football Leagues are needed. Candidates must be at least 17 years of age. They'll have to get a live scan fingerprint and a background check. Volunteers will also have to complete the National Alliance for Youth Sports Coaches Training. The season is 8 weeks long. For more information, go to torranceca.gov. You can also contact Patty Goldstein at 310-781-7517. The season tentatively starts September 29th. 146 names are inscribed on the Torrance Veterans Memorial Wall, and every year those names are read aloud to honor them and their sacrifice they've made.
Rudolph Bernasconi, Arnold Bienenfurch.
Freedom. It's an ironic word, as there's nothing free about it. Just ask the 146 names on that wall. Their silence shouts from the granite. Their life for our freedom, a price that was anything but free.
Veterans, family, and friends of the fallen took turns reading the names of the heroes who served our country, and then a moment of silence. The Torrance Veterans Memorial Wall was first dedicated in 2002 and has become an annual patriotic affair for the city. In addition, the Torrance Historical Society has taken the task of putting a face to each one of those names. This is their way of preserving the short life stories of the war casualties.
And it really means a lot because it's opened up the door to who my brother was, and that we can say his name and talk about that he existed and he had a life and a good life. You know, you grieve, but yet you are full of joy too with the life that they lived and the good things they did for the country. You know, he enlisted, he wanted to help the United States, he wanted to help the people of Vietnam.
The Historical Society is halfway to their goal of creating a file on each name, which will be added in the Historical Society archives. And a local chef made her way to the Torrance Certified Farmers Market to create the largest rice bowl. Chef Kelly Kim from Yellow Fever cooked up a feast, you could say, as she attempted to make one of her restaurant's hottest items, the Soul Bowl. But this time she created the largest one yet. Each large bowl could serve at least 25 people, and Kim and her crew made enough for 400 testers. The Soul Bowl was her take on the Korean bibimbap bowl, and it had all of the favorites: a fried egg, marinated flat iron steak, steamed kale, Asian sauce, sesame seeds, topped off with a soul sauce. Kim says that she just wants to offer several popular Asian flavors under one roof and make healthy bowls using market produce that are good for the soul.
By calling it Yellow Fever, we wanted to embrace all things Asian culture and Asian food. You cannot go fresher than California Farmers Market. And the idea is to encourage people to grab whatever is in season, whether it's asparagus or eggplant. Just cook it and mix a bowl and make it.
Kim has now opened a third location. The local Yellow Fever restaurant can be found at 24416 Crenshaw Boulevard. A top-of-the-line men's sportswear is now open at Del Amo Fashion Center. Travis Matthew is located next to Nordstrom. That dynamic apparel company is known for its golf heritage, but has grown to include other apparel and accessories. It launched first in 2007 and is inspired from the Southern California culture and lifestyle. Now let's get to the weather. Today was a bit cloudy with a high of 66 degrees. Tomorrow will warm up a bit, hitting 70 degrees and an expected low of 60. Then on Thursday, it'll get slightly cooler with a high of 65 degrees and an expected low of 57. A Torrance business was recognized at the White House for its services recently. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross honored 43 U.S. companies and organizations that export U.S. goods and services, including Torrance business Micronova Manufacturing, Inc. The President E Award ceremony marked the 56th anniversary of the award. It's the highest recognition any U.S. entity can receive for making a significant contribution to the expansion of U.S. exports. The honorees helped contribute to exporting more than $2 trillion worth of United States goods and services in 2017 alone. Also, the companies demonstrated an increase in export sales over a 4-year period. Micronova is a woman-owned business that was established in 1984 right here in Torrance. The mission is to service the emerging clean room markets in aerospace, semiconductor, and biotechnology. Congratulations to them. A local health clinic here in Torrance is helping treat kids with their mental health. Torrance City Cable reporter Louis Tran tells us more.
So I appreciate that part of the Wilderness Challenge.
Luis Fernandez is a senior at Redondo Shores High School and had been struggling with his mental health for the past 6 years. But this all changed with the help of the South Bay Children's Health Center Guidance Clinic.
It was pretty life-changing.
The South Bay Children's Health Center Guidance Clinic, located on Cravens and Gramercy Avenue, was founded in 1947 to help provide health care to low-income families.
My doggy's name is Twinkie.
Angela Wilson says mental health issues have been a growing problem across the South Bay.
We're not getting this in. It's something that people don't always think about.
Mental health is a condition of a person's psychological and emotional well-being. While anyone can be affected, the causes can range from family issues to even social pressure.
We like to look at is when their emotions and feelings affects their behavior in a negative way.
Fernandez first recognized his struggle with his mental health at the age of 12.
It affected me a lot.
For wilderness, now we're doing.
With the help of his teacher and brother, Fernandez enrolled into the South Bay Children's Health Center. He participated in 10 therapy sessions with 9 other kids who shared similar experiences as him. Fernandez's connection with his group gave him the support and confidence to overcome his mental struggles.
You don't have to reach the top. You just got to reach the point where you feel comfortable at and feel successful.
Psychiatrists and therapists here use different methods to interact with their kids. While many teenagers can communicate how they feel, many of the younger kids use drawings, games, and even toys to express themselves and help them feel more comfortable.
We're trying to build rapport. You know, we want them to feel comfortable.
You can say whatever you want and they're not going to judge you.
The Guidance Clinic treats patients ages 3 to 20 years old and will tailor each treatment to their personal situation. Fernandez believes asking questions and simply reaching out will go a long way.
They're there always. If you actually talk to somebody and you try to figure out how to overcome this, how to cope with this thing, it's going to make you happier.
For Torrance City Cable, I'm Louis Tran.
Thanks, Louis. The South Bay Children's Health Center will be hosting a 5K walk on June 23rd at Ernie Howlett Park to help raise funds. And before the next half of NEWSBREAK Live, you can attend the first of 7 hands-only CPR training, which starts this Friday, hosted by the Torrance Fire Department. It's part of National CPR and AED Awareness Week. The first training will take place at Costco from 10 a.m. to noon. Then don't forget, this Saturday you can stop by the City Yard Open House. The biannual event will have a car show, disaster preparedness expo, and environmental fair. It'll take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Torrance City Cable team will be there as well. And the shuttle service will be available at the courthouse on Maple Avenue. Then Peter Pan Storybook Ballet will take place at the James Armstrong Theater. Tickets are $24 this Sunday. The ballet performance will take place from 2 p.m. until 4:30. For more information, go to thesouthbayballet.org. Well, in just 2 minutes, EMS Captain Stefan Viera from the Torrance Fire Department will share details on hands-only CPR and how you can get trained for free. We'll be back in just a few.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns.
What?
May I come in?
Yeah, come in.
We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Wow. Okay, great.
Zucchini carbonara with egg and
Wow.
pork belly. Made from
Thank
zucchini
you.
that was harvested earlier this morning.
So good. Again? Hello.
Hey, Dan Barber.
Hello, guys. I'm sorry to bust in here, but you have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Thank you. Mind if I just plate this in the kitchen and bring it out to you?
No, go for it.
Thanks,
Wow.
guys.
Thanks.
Gosh, believe that?
No.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of zucchini and then the cores that we cut away to give you those perfect strips. Not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. But we love this part of the zucchini, and we're always making dishes that use the whole zucchini. If you don't mind, I'm gonna just do a little bit of lemon juice on here to finish it.
Great.
Enjoy.
I should have figured that it finished the zucchini, right? We started it and we should have finished it.
Yeah, so
We're not
should
wasting
we-
it. We're not throwing it away. Amazing.
Try it?
Yeah, straight off the skewer.
We're never supposed to ask how you like a dish, but how'd you like the dish?
I loved it. This is a great treat for us.
Does that, oh,
Again? Hi.
Hi, I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
they resemble penne pasta, huh? We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta if you're up for that. A different experience of zucchini. Isn't that crazy? 40% of food in America never gets eaten. Here's a chance to do something creative and delicious with the whole plant. We dig in, huh?
Yeah.
When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. Visit SaveTheFood.com to see the full recipes and learn how to reduce food waste in your own kitchen.
Welcome back to the second half of NEWSBREAK Live, and joining me live is EMS Captain from the Torrance Fire Department, Stefan Viera. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Heba.
Thank you for joining me. And just around the corner, June 1st kicks off National CPR and AED Awareness Week. So talk to me about this time. The City of Torrance recently also proclaimed this week as National CPR Week.
That's correct. Back in 2007, Congress passed a resolution making June 1st through 7th of every year National CPR and AED Week. Our goal is to partner with the American Heart Association, Little Company of Mary, Torrance Memorial Medical Center, and McCormick Ambulance to get out in the community, do some community outreach, and teach as many citizens as we can what we call sidewalk CPR or hands-only CPR. We'll be at 7 different locations, 7 different days, 2 to 4 hours each day depending. And like you mentioned, it starts off at Costco on Friday. Another big one will be Saturday at the Car Show and Disaster Expo at the Torrance City Yard. Sunday we'll be at the beach. That's always a popular one. Monday we'll be at the Katie Geiser Library. We're going to also be at the Farmers Market, which will be another big event. So that's our goal, is to get out and teach as many people as we can hands-only CPR.
And this is free training that can truly save a life. So when you're out there, tell me kind of what are the steps that are taught to people so they can remember what hands-only CPR is.
So it's important to know that 70% of sudden cardiac arrests typically happen at your home. So learning hands-only CPR is going to help you because most likely you'll be doing it on a family member or a friend. Nationally, there's over 400,000 cardiac arrests every year. And then in LA County, typically a little over 5,000 a year also. So the goal with sidewalk CPR, it's very simple. You want to make sure that the person is unresponsive, and you do that by shaking and shouting, trying to wake them up. If there's no response, either call 911 or have someone else call 911. That's very important. And then you start the compressions, and you do that by pushing hard and fast on the chest. You'll put one hand on top of the other, center of the chest, and hard and fast. That's the goal. And you continue doing that until we show up to take over.
Specifically, we're talking about hands-only CPR. So what's the difference between hands-only CPR compared to regular CPR, if there is even a difference?
So what they found is a lot of people don't want to get involved if they have to do too much. So with the hands-only CPR, it's exactly that, just doing compressions. There is no mouth-to-mouth breathing, and they make it as simple as possible, and we teach you these steps with mannequins that we have, and we give you the proper techniques to use. We enjoy families, individuals, employees of businesses. Come on out, find one of our locations. We'll be happy to teach you.
When people come out, are they usually nervous? I mean, how do you ease them into learning this process? And I guess it's a good opportunity to tell people why they should come out, because many people might watch this and are kind of on the fence about whether they want to take a few minutes out of their day to attend one of these sessions.
It only takes about 90 seconds. We're talking a minute and a half, and it's fun, first of all, because we make it that way. And there's, when we talk about doing the hands-only CPR, the compressions, we try and do it 100 to 120 times a minute, about 2 inches deep on the chest. So how do you know if you're doing it 100 times a minute? Well, one way is to have certain songs in your head as a rhythm. And there's a song from the 70s, the disco era, that's very popular. I'm going to tell you, it's by the Bee Gees. I'm not going to tell you what song it is because I want you to come out to one of our sites. We'll teach you with that song, and if you're lucky, maybe a firefighter will sing that song for you.
Oh, that's special. And when it comes to performing hands-only CPR, is it only for situations where someone is facing a cardiac arrest, or are there other emergencies where someone may have to perform this?
No, that's correct. Only with a sudden cardiac arrest. Okay. In the past, we've had people experience chest pain, which could be a heart attack. Now, a heart attack is different than a cardiac arrest.
Right.
With the cardiac arrest, the actual heart itself stops beating, that person becomes unresponsive, and then you start the steps that that we would teach you with the hands-only CPR.
Okay. And we've heard that many recent incidents, Torrance firefighters have seen firsthand how hands-only CPR can help save a life. Can you tell me about a few of these examples that you maybe heard of or witnessed yourself?
Sure. So in 2016, we trained 565 people in hands-only CPR.
Wow.
In 2017, we trained 635. So our goal is to increase those numbers every year, obviously. In the city of Torrance in 2016, we responded to 100 cardiac arrests. Of those 100 cardiac arrests, 24% bystanders were doing CPR 24% of the time. In 2017, we responded to 110 cardiac arrests, and bystanders were doing CPR 36% of the time. So we did see an increase. Now, on a call approximately 2 months ago at Soccer City, there was a gentleman playing soccer. He became unresponsive. There was an off-duty nurse there with her child, and that nurse began to administer CPR. And then the assistant manager of the facility grabbed her AED off the wall, went over, hooked him up to the AED, was able to defibrillate him, and by the time we got there within 5 minutes, he was awake and starting to talk to us. So
Wow.
it's amazing. It's a perfect example of how bystanders can really make a difference and have an impact in somebody's life.
That's amazing, and that kind of leads me into my next question for you. What is an AED? What does it stand for? Who should have it, and how can it be used? I know you just mentioned it a little bit.
So AED stands for Automated External Defibrillator, and they're very simple to use. You can there's visual instructions as well as audible instructions. So typically what happens is the heart beats with electrical impulses, and when somebody has a cardiac arrest, those electrical impulses are either absent or become erratic. So with the AED, knowing where it is first of all is the first step, and then when you apply the pads to the person's chest, all you do is turn on the AED and follow the instructions. So a lot of people think that an AED jump starts the heart, but the reality is it kind of resets those electrical impulses so that the heart beats at a regular rhythm. And my recommendation is if you can afford an AED, I think everybody should have them. I knew a AYSO soccer coach who kept one in the trunk of his car just because he had witnessed one of the soccer players having an issue that he thought would have benefited from having an AED. The city of Torrance has them staggered throughout the city buildings. For example, the Katy Geisert Library has one, the Plunge has one, Torrance Police Department has one, the Torrance Fire Department has one in the lobby, the Bartlett Senior Center has one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
And it's easy to use.
totally easy to use. Like I said, the big thing is knowing where it is. So if you go out into a public place, an airport, for example, they're staggered throughout. Take a moment, look around, see where they are, and you can walk up to them and look at them, and the instructions are one right there. It's like 1, 2, 3, basically.
I feel that I've been hearing more about AED lately, but it isn't a new piece of equipment. It's been around for a while, or?
Yes, it has. I don't know the exact time frame, but we've been using them in the fire department for many years, ever since I came on 20 years ago. And we also, in addition to the AED, we have our defibrillators, which our paramedics use, and those can be manually adjusted. So it's a little more complicated, and that's why the AEDs are so useful to the average person, because you take them off the wall, put the pads on the person, turn it on, and literally follow the instructions.
Wow, that's amazing. And I want to reiterate that such a simple type of training, which anybody from the community, South Bay community, can attend, right?
That's correct. And you know, the training that we provide is going to be focusing on the hands-only CPR,
Correct.
like we said. You know, check for responsiveness or unresponsiveness, call 911, start the compressions hard and fast, continue doing that until we arrive, because when we get there, we're able to administer heart medications, the defibrillator, as I mentioned, maintain the airway, and then obviously rapid transport to the hospital. Our times and locations can be found on the Torrance Fire Department Facebook page, as well as our Twitter and Instagram account.
Tell me, as a first responder and teaching people these types of life-saving skills, how does it feel? And I know obviously the mission of the Torrance Fire Department is to educate as many people as you can.
Well, I mentioned some of the statistics about how many people we have trained already, and that is our goal, to get out in the community, be part of the community, because we work for the community, and to train that many more people. You know, statistically, as I mentioned, 70% of the time a cardiac arrest is going to happen in the house. So it's not only going to help someone else in the community, but, you know, a family member also.
Is there an age minimum? Can anybody come out, or is there a certain age that people should learn this type of training?
The sooner the better.
Okay.
Bring the family, bring your coworkers, come by yourself. Whoever can come and put their hands on our mannequins and start pressing hard and fast, they're going to do just fine. And
I want to reiterate, Hands Only CPR Awareness Week starts June 1st and it goes through 7th. And there are 7 locations Torrance Fire Department will be at, from Costco, the Torrance City Yard Car Show and Disaster Expo, which is this Saturday, Torrance Beach on June 3rd, the Katie Geiser Civic Center Library, the Farmers Market, and many more locations. And they can find that all on the Torrance Fire Department Facebook page. Well, Stefan, thank you so much for joining me tonight and talking about Hands Only CPR.
Thank you for having me. Very much appreciated.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Well, that does it for NEWSBREAK Live. City Council has the night off, and if you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any part of the show, you can catch it all on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.